A beautiful Monday morning to you all out there. How are you doing? Hope you're fine. Thank God it's the start of a new working week. You know, actually, according to the calendar, the week starts on a Sunday, but we here in Nigerians, I think, we believe that the week starts on a Monday for us because it's always a working day. Welcome to the Bumper Breakfast Show. Welcome again to the Bumper Breakfast Show. We're so sorry to our fans for starting a little bit late today. The traffic in Lagos State today, especially if you're coming from Third Mainland Bridge, you know what I'm talking about. You're coming from Ojota, Pangrove, the roads are not friendly. So if you're going to be flying that route this morning, please be careful. Use your Google Map, and I think your Google Map should be able to lead you to the right path. Welcome once again to the Bumper Breakfast Show. My name is Teresa Adeyemi, and I'm not alone in the studio as usual. I have the beautiful Vera in the house today.
I'm blushing. Good morning to you, Tessie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, it's not funny today, but it's a Monday, and one has to be here. I went through that traffic. I don't know how to describe it. When you leave home 5 and you think you're just going to take the route and get to Alausa in time, and 5 o'clock, and this is when I'm getting in here. I don't know what we can do, but I think that the traffic people should do more, looking at how congested, because that's the only route. People coming from the 10 Mainland Bridge, if you all know, it's already blocked right now, so you can't take that route. And if the only way available is for you to take either Idumota, Unyibu, or you take the other route, which is Stadium Barracks, you don't, find your way. But from Costain is blocked. There wasn't movement. It was static. Everyone was just I thought of flying. This is the time I really need an helicopter to take. I don't want to miss the program on a Monday morning. It is where we cash, we start counting, what I mean. But all the same, it's good to be with you this morning, and I thank God we are all alive to witness this beautiful morning. I'm not panting again. I was panting when I ran into the studio. But it's going to be fun. We'll try to make it very interesting, and we will do just that. Just stay tuned. We'll be there.
And my barrister is in the house this morning. I'm so sorry for all the impromptu I'm always giving you. I don't call you at the right time. I'm owning up to that. Call you at the wrong time, just call you like in about a few hours to the show. Barrister wanted to be on the show, and it will always come. Actually, you came in late this morning and you brought in the papers, panting into the studio. What was your experience on the road?
Yes, indeed, Tessie, and good morning out there to you viewers. Indeed, the traffic wasn't friendly at all. Yeah, I admit I didn't leave as early as I would normally. But then, when I hit the road, I met the traffic. I was like, oh my God, not again. I estimated, okay, look, having left my house at this time, even though not the usual time I leave when I'm coming here, I thought, okay, well, I might be late for maybe arrive there at 8 or 8:05. But when I met the traffic, I was like, oh yeah, now here we are. And then it continued until I got here, Vera got here earlier, so she stopped.
Earlier, 2 minutes.
She stopped.
2 minutes.
She got it earlier. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes earlier than you.
I'm not out of that seat yet. I'm still trying to catch my breath.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all right. In any way, it's glad to be here again, and I thank God for it. Good morning. And a happy new year to everyone out there.
Okay, happy new year,
We're
seeing you the first time this year.
That's right.
All right, happy new year, barrister.
And someone says, don't say happy new year if it's on the 15th. After 15, don't say happy new year. But for me,
it's a happy new year.
Seeing you the first time in the year,
it's not up to that person.
That's the person's ideology. I'm sure he's watching and he'll be saying, but I said don't say that. But it's a new year because we're just saying, and thank God it's going to be a beautiful one.
By God's spirit, yes.
Seeing you on the 15th without saying Happy New Year, that's their own belief though. My own belief, if I'm seeing you for the first time, May, April, I'm still going to tell you Happy New Year.
Exactly.
Because your Happy New Year means your own definition of what you mean by Happy New Year. My own Happy New Year means seeing you for the first time this year. So that's it.
And indeed, let me just add this, the year could become new to you even in March.
Yes.
If you've not started doing things differently than you did last year, your year is not new yet.
They're
You
still
know,
doing
until
things
you,
the same
until
way.
you make a decision to start doing things differently,
Differently.
so that you achieve different results, then your year becomes new. Because otherwise, your year can never be new just because you've come into 1st of January at all. You can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You know, so that's more like what I would say to justify and strengthen or buttress. Having to say Happy New Year now.
Happy New Year, yeah. So to those who are just seeing the show for the first time this year, Happy New Year. And to those who have just started things newly this year, just like Barrister explained, I'm saying a Happy New Year to you.
That's right.
All right, straight to the dailies this morning because time is not on our side this morning. We're going straight to the dailies, the trending stories in Nigeria. It was a sad story yesterday when, where's it? Where this, where is it? I saw the story somewhere. I think I've checked it. Okay, where goods were destroyed as fire got 10-story Lagos market building yesterday. It was a sad one because when we look at the economy of the country, I don't pray this should even happen to who is wishing me bad.
Well, it's not funny. At this time, you're losing loads of money. You're losing your properties. I don't know where you're going to fall to. Some of them took loans.
Loans?
And you're going to pay their interest for loans. Anyway, servicing your loan isn't going to be easy. And now they're all... The trauma, it comes with this feeling that
Trauma,
is
debt.
done. But I want to tell you, give you an encouragement this morning to say it is well. God is aware. And God is going to help all of them out, really. But it's not a good one.
And you see, one thing about religion is when we say God is going to help, I think we need to tell people, heaven help those who help themselves. Because if you just sit down and I'm not saying God does not help. I'm a Jesus freak. I believe in God so much. But I'm just saying it that sometimes when people tell you, God will help, God will do this, God will do this, but you need to put an effort. At least you need to take a step so that God can always lift you up.
Yes, indeed, Tessie. You picked my brains there, when you said that part, because I wanted to say, well, for those who know me, I am a Christian of a very strong bias, all right? I say that without fear of contradiction. But then, indeed, there are things that God has enabled us to do. God has given us power to do, So we don't wait on God to do those things for us, all right? And when we fail to do them, and their outcomes, sad outcomes, we say, God knows everything. No, God knew everything from the beginning, yes. He knew that would happen if he didn't do what he has given you power to do. So we can't afford to just be reckless and not care about, from the point of governance, these things have been happening repeatedly, in the Lagos market.
Yes.
So what effort have been put in place by government starting, that's where the responsibility, where the buck stops. It starts there, and then after government, the traders themselves, what effort have they put in place to avoid such incidences and where they occur, to nip them in the bud. Nipping them in the bud means ensuring that the extent of damage is minimized. Of course, we know what our fire service is like, what time they arrive, when they arrive, how much water there is, to stop any fire and, and how far that fire, whatever the water can go. All of those things are part of the preparation we're talking about. We don't have to have having these incidences unabated and of course without any deliberate effort at stemming them or ensuring that wherever it happens, fire happens everywhere in the world, yes, but there we are aware that in some of the climes, it gets nipped much more quickly. The reaction time is very important.
We see this happen every time, especially in markets. And one begins to wonder, is the building different from the normal building? Is it not blocks and iron and rod and all of that? I think when we begin to look at things, there are regulatories, bodies that are supposed to handle when you get to a particular stage in building. The building planning committee, they have that. They also have people that comes to check the integrity, of the building, to see the weight of it and all of that. I think because when you get to Lagos market actually and you see where they are building new structures. One begins to wonder the rapid growth. And do they pass through the normal, procedures, or people just approvals? Or people just go build. Let me rush and build things, and we begin to cry because I'm sure those people that are renting it are not the ones that built it. And even if they are the ones, they are process
They should
using
also be
building
subject
shows.
to building approval
Yes,
regulations.
yeah. So
Indeed, Vera, what you just said now, when you get to Lagos Island particularly, you ask yourself, where are those people? Like when I was building my own house and they came, and this space should be like this should be like that. Okay, well, and then I remembered, I said, and so you know how to say all of these, and what's happening with all the buildings in Lagos Island, where I can put my hand across my window and pick something from you across the other building, and imagine what happens when there's a fire under such circumstances or such environment. Not just one building will be affected, many buildings all at once.
10, 15.
So that's why I say regulation, and approvals, all these things come to play, but more importantly, we are all decrying one thing, all right? The fact that government, I first put it on government, and then because government is at the head of all of this, and then after that the traders themselves.
The owners first.
Yes, okay, fine.
Yeah, the owners.
The traders and the owners of the buildings. One of the things you said, apart from weight, the building didn't collapse, so it may not fall back to the structural integrity of the building, but fire regulation. Just like you said, there should be periodic
checks.
Yes, to see the state of a building after even the initial approval, especially for those high-rise buildings. The fire agencies are the ones that should regularly, much more regularly, visit those high-rise buildings to ensure that the fire protection gadgets are there. You've seen severally, in movies and in all buildings even here, where you have automated water spraying devices. Where the workers
we have it here.
occupants are not there, and there's a fire at a certain temperature, they are activated. We make sure that this is always there. You'll be amazed that fire, if not, if it was not a deliberate fire, was probably started from maybe something left unplugged.
You see, that's right.
And then if that automated, water spraying device or whatever was there, you would have just quench it instantly and won't have the story.
All right, Barrister, I'll be coming from this perspective of, okay, you're all correct that the government should at least do the necessary things, they should put the necessary things in place, and even the builders. What about the ones that are using the building?
Why are they? I mentioned the traders.
Why are they not being careful?
Them.
Why is it that before I leave my own, I make sure I switch off all the appliances in my home?
So it doesn't explode.
Anything that connects with light. Even my dad will always tell me that even just don't switch it off, unplug it.
Exactly.
That's what my dad would tell you. My dad would say, just don't switch off the switch, but make sure you unplug it. Even if the government, if they are not careful, if they don't think about us, if they don't care about us, the builders that erect the building do not care about us. You that use the building, you should care about yourself.
Yeah.
That's right.
We should care about ourselves. And every time we're always having this and market, because even if you are being careful, what about your neighbor? How careful is your neighbor?
I think
they need to sensitize themselves.
Yes, that's the word. I think sensitization, orientation should continue. I think it should not be just you do once in a year. Go to the market, sensitize the people, give them some education to say this is about your lives. But again, there's another story to this. Some of them will tell you that from the government ends, if they want to increase the fee,
what fee?
Or they want to capture a particular area, what they do is they send people, go there, put it ablaze, and the government will just say, well, we're taking this away from you, and they build, and they begin to give it like Tejo Market.
Yeah, that's the
things
other
like
part.
the other part, very interesting.
If it's not deliberate, if the fire is not deliberate.
They will not be giving something
But
people were paying 400,000.
Improving that.
No,
I don't believe the owner of the building can do that.
No, not what we're saying. No, not the owners of the building. You don't get it. Another story came round over the weekend to say that sometimes if government wants to take this particular area, if the state wants to take this particular area, sometimes they set people set on fire and then rebuild and begin to give and resell and begin to give it just like the Tejo Market.
Redevelop.
They redevelop and they pay 5 million instead of the 500, but I'm not saying, I don't believe that. No government will want to.
Yes, that dwells in the name of
No government.
Don't destroy the city.
No government wants to destroy their own
built.
people and make them unhappy.
No,
but that came over the weekend. Thinking.
No responsible government
would do that.
But of course, we also know there's irresponsive and irresponsible governance. And where there's such governance, anything is possible.
All right, straight to the Guardian newspaper this morning. We have skepticism over inflation, insecurity, economic outlook. Performance of selected African currencies against dollar in the past 1 year. Naira depreciated by 49%. Inflation rate 28.92%. So I'll go straight to Barrister this morning. The inflation, insecurity, economic outlook, everything is wrong with us in this country. What exactly is the way forward? Vera, you're laughing. Everything is wrong with us. We have inflation, we have insecurity.
As a matter of fact, I'm wondering why Vera is laughing, really, because it's not laughable.
No, but should I be crying? Should I be crying? You have to make yourself happy in this. No, I shouldn't cry. I won't kill myself.
No.
I will only keep
I want that you cry
cascading information.
I want that you cry over the state of the nation. It's very important, all right? And that
cry.
crying shouldn't just stop at you crying for those who are in the hem of offense to see, but also cry on your knees to God.
That's it. Yeah, you tell me to
those
cry
who
to
are
God.
there who would rather rule or reign or organize the business of governance in an irresponsible manner are removed by God.
Yes.
Because He is God. He can do every and anything.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
So because I say this very often, okay, I talked about my Christian philosophy, but then I tell you, I'm not a strong adherent, I do not subscribe to that, what is said often in the churches and other places. Let's pray for our leaders. Yes, we'll pray for our leaders, all right? But for any leader who would not stay in governance for the good of Nigeria and of the people does not deserve to remain there, and God should not keep him there. Praying the perfect will of God for my country, for me, in my own understanding, which means, perfect will of God means, of course, it cannot be the perfect will of God that evil and unreasonable people remain in governance. And so, God should, by His Spirit, remove, I don't know. God should remove them. God knows how best. God is not unjust.
God should remove them.
God is not unjust. He will know how to remove them. No, they should be out of there. So that's basically what it is. Now, exactly to the issue. It is very, very saddening. In fact, I want to go back to 2015. We knew what it was before 2015. And everything that happened, there were demonstrations called out. There were allegations against the government of the day. Those that have been president and for 8 years and gone, those who are there today, were on the street. We have their videos and their pictures and evidence of them on the street, saying all sort of things, calling that government before 2015, all manner of things. Today, Nigerians have gone numb. They've gone docile. Every and anything is being done negatively, wrongly, and nobody is out on the streets. No, not even NLC. And I'm wondering, where is NLC? Where are all the people that are supposed to speak for labor and for the people?
Do we still have NLC?
Where are they?
I asked that question on this
That's
table
what I'm
last week.
asking. So
where's Ajaero?
it's really saddening.
Maybe
that
I'll call
we are where we are.
deputy.
We cannot
Send
continue
Sola
to
to them.
have
I
bad
think I need
governance
to invite
and
maybe
of
tomorrow.
course,
Find out.
insecurity. On Christmas Day, we know what happened.
Yeah, Plateau States. Plateau States.
And a whole family just now, four of the daughters were reunited with the father after one was killed, but
So
that's all we
yeah.
are saying. Oh, praise God, hallelujah. Four are back. How about that one, that young lady?
That lost her life just
Rashida
like
or
that.
something?
An
Or Rashida?
undergraduate.
Yes.
That's it.
Who is dead, killed
Yeah.
by brigands, and nothing is done. We're never going to get a report again, I'll show you, of what happened. How they got them freed.
No, we've been hearing stories, Barrister.
and what has happened.
I have three versions of stories.
Or what would happen, I said, we'll never hear again. Because you'll never hear that those brigands have been apprehended, and they are all out there. In Abuja, residents whose houses are in the suburbs or estates that are bought, the bushes, are live in perpetual fear of kidnapping.
Our youth corpers are being kidnapped.
It's happening every now and then. So the point you ask is, where's governance? And when I have always said, when you talked about the failed state, this is about seeing what is happening in our country and hoping that those who are in the realm of governance or in the realm of affairs would listen and do the right thing. Where, alternate agencies, powers, principalities, authorities are able to exercise the power of coercion or the force as to endanger the government, the people, the citizens, that state is a failed state. And sadly, until those in government today begin to do the right thing, to ensure that this reckless and apparently hopeless leftward shift of our currency, the naira, against the dollar, the euro, the pound sterling, is stemmed, until they begin to take steps, do things. Why can't we have rapid response forces with helicopters everywhere? I don't understand.
I've been saying this.
To attend to this
I don't know what is
security challenges.
happening.
Why can't
we have some
people
people
that have
that
been responsible for these militias and kidnapping groups and whatever in the past and even now? What has been done? Nothing.
The kidnappers are more than the military personnel we have in this country.
We think that things will change like this. No. How would it change?
I want to say, permit me, Mr. Lekon, to call your name. We're discussing something and he said, but they didn't fly from heaven.
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
It's amongst us, and when we're discussing, a real heated discussion, but reasonable discussion. And I said, but we have people, we've seen people, and I said, no, it's amongst us, there's no ghost anywhere. And that's it. I think why I said we should keep praying, we can pray for insights of our leaders. And when they refuse to hearken to the voice of the Lord,
before you pray for the insights of your leader, be sure that your leader is not involved in whatever wrong is happening in the
if they're involved, definitely they're out of it.
Because a former head of state, General Sonia Abacha, says any insurgency that lasts more than 24 hours,
something is
government has underneath. So what are we doing?
This is really not it at all.
So it all points, there's nowhere else to put this but on the government.
So people are just busy giving kidnappers money, 100 million.
I was about asking Barrister that question. Do you think it's right for we to pay this kidnappers? Keep paying them the ransom they're demanding
for? No civil crime is that done. You hear in the US and Britain, we don't negotiate with terrorists. That's the language. That's the cachet.
Why should we negotiate?
We don't negotiate with terrorists. That's what they are. As far as government is concerned, you brand them terrorists, whether by whatever name,
whatever you call them,
militia, headsmen, whatever. They are all terrorists. You don't negotiate with them. You deal with them decisively. When you negotiate with them, what are you doing? You're encouraging. You're aiding and abetting. You are recruiting constructively more people into the business. That's what you're doing.
No, but San, sorry to interrupt you.
When we get them,
San said Agbakuba, San, I quote him, he said we shouldn't just start killing them. We should remember the Vietnam War, that we need to begin to have meetings with them. Do you believe in him? Did you accept what he said?
No, I don't. That's negotiation with terrorists. No, we cannot afford to. They would as well go negotiating with the armed robbers. We'll go calling the, the 419ers. We'll go calling all manner of criminals and negotiate with them, because every criminal, as he or she is concerned,
have a meeting
for
with
what he's doing. They say, "Oh, my parents never sent me to school. I have nothing to do so."
That's an excuse.
There's no employment. I'm a graduate. I came out of school, so
the next thing to do is to start killing people.
So I disagree completely with him. And
people are busy going away with 100 million.
I keep asking this
because I don't know what
these people, just like a barrister say, they're all terrorists. Are they more than the military personnel, the police personnel, police officials we have in this country?
We saw what the police did. If people want to work, they work. I think we need to begin to, instead of having the meetings with terrorists, we need to have meetings with our security team. Yes, because it is high time we fight this war. It is war against terrorists.
Yes.
Because if you're not safe, why are you in a country? Are we even a country or a nation?
It is exactly.
Because I begin to wonder, nation.
Yeah,
because I read over the weekend.
Nation of a nation or
a nation of
we. Yes.
Because if it's not working the way we said it is, we should come back to the drawing board and see what's wrong, what's way forward. We cannot continue to deceive ourselves this way. How can, over the weekend I saw what the police did. the security men did.
Yeah.
They captured some of them.
If they want to work, they work.
If they want to work,
That's when it's neutral.
is it that we just pay lip service? We say we're giving them millions on, you know, papers, and it's not reflecting into their pocket because nobody's going to. If someone was saying, but they signed it. I said they have children, they have wives, they have siblings who want to die for a country that doesn't even appreciate them.
Exactly.
Are they not being appreciated? Have you gone to the barracks recently and see how they live their lives? And when one loses one, you lose one in the barracks, they will tell you have to leave immediately.
Thank you.
I mean, so why you out of the barracks?
Right,
You don't have a settlement. I know the Nigerian army has one place they call settlement in Ojo barracks. Anoshodi. But for some of us, our fathers didn't go through all of those things. They just decide. Maybe because they have their own place. But some people don't have where to, when they are gone, their siblings don't have where to stay temporarily. And getting a place isn't easy. What's their pension like? These are the things people look at to say, okay, let me die for this country. How can you die for a country when you are no more? Your family will suffer. I think we need to get down to the drawing board.
Maybe that's what is happening.
Yeah.
These people are not ready to die for the country. That's why they don't want to go into those.
It's not that they cannot.
It's not they can't fight them, but at whose detriment?
So lots of things that we need to begin to look at. We need to begin to look at it. That's why I said we need to go back to the drawing board. Okay, if, for instance, I don't know how to call corpora or whatever, two stripes, for instance, corpora in the army, and I'm done with service, or during, you die in service. What will my family benefit? These are the things. How much is pension? Why would you go and fight war when someone was telling me he was in Boko Haram for how many, he was in Sambisa forest for how many years, and his friend had to try to put one or two buttons, and it was brought back. But he fought a lot of things, and he saw that, hey, that place not pay me. That's what he said. They don't pay me at all.
It's so painful that this killers.
So we need to begin to look at their welfare.
Well, all you've said boils down to governance. All right.
That's it.
I mean, it's not about, this is not criticism, but stating the obvious, stating
Yes.
the truth. We're Nigerians. I keep saying at my station in life, if I do not say what I think is good for my country, I mean, then I'll be doing a lot of injustice to myself, my children, and my grandson.
Yeah.
All right? I'll be doing all of that. That's how bad it is. So, at the end of the day, when you talk about going back to the drawing board, which drawing board? How do we do that?
Where is
The best way to go to the drawing board is to say, this cream of leaders have failed, and we do not want them in there again. And during elections, we're making sure we vote them out. After the crying and talking and complaining and nothing is done, that's the only way to go back to the drawing board. But in this country, I'm trying for you to see the state of despair, that we are in, as far as we leave it to government, except for those of us who have put our faith and trust in God, how that the electoral system lacks the integrity to deliver your expectation to you. If you want to go back to the drawing board and ensure that these failed leaders, if they don't change, do not go back. Because what do you have? From the INEC, which is about the worst part of it, because what I'm saying this is because if the umpire in a football match, for instance, if the umpire is against you, you're playing against 11 against 22, if not more. That's what it is. In fact, the whistle is the most potent weapon, in a football match, no matter what you're doing. And if you complain, it gives you a yellow. You complain again, it gives you a red. That's how helpless you are. That's how INEC is, INEC, I should have stood aloof and said, for the good of the country, for the good of my country, I would do justice and let the heavens fall. I would do the right thing and let the heavens fall. We know what INEC has been doing. And then again, even where INEC fails, and it falls down to the judiciary, there are certain high expectations. What I may know as a lawyer, and I say, okay, given that in the past, this decision had gone this way by the Supreme Court or by the Court of Appeal, this one should go the same way. That's how it is in my profession. We say Sarah decisis, all right? let the decision stand. If a superior court or the same court have decided the matter and the matter come before it, unless for very compelling reasons, the court would not depart from what it has ruled before. But when these days, I don't even know again what will happen when a matter goes up before the Court of Appeal or before the Supreme Court, what the decision will be until it is pronounced. All right? I do not know how strong the principle of stare decisis still operates in Nigeria. So going back to the drawing board is a problem for me. I don't know exactly where this board is.
It's in my house. If a legal practitioner is talking like
I have a question for you,
barrister.
You are a legal practitioner. I think you should be able to shed more light on this question I'm about throwing out to you.
All right, please.
Okay, now, these terrorists, as they are labeled, when they come out for forgiveness, why is it that the government will forgive them and give them amnesty without thinking about all the evils they've done?
Well,
according to the law, is that how it should be done?
No, according to the law, there's no such thing.
Okay.
All right. According to the law, the nearest thing you have to what you call amnesty is plea bargain.
Plea bargain.
Plea bargain is where you have been arrested, you have been put to trial, you're before a court, and you elect and say, I do not want the court to go through the whole process of trial. All right? I concede. I plead guilty, and then plea bargain comes in. All right? I don't want to, it's not the law class here, but basically, I'm just trying to let you understand that that's the nearest thing we have at law, to amnesty. Or maybe the amnesty, in the other way could be after you've been convicted and you're in prison, and then the prerogative of mercy is, exercised by the governor of the state or the president of the country in your favor. That's the nearest you have to amnesty, as it were. Other than that, even in those situations, first of all, you identify or by whatever means apprehend the criminals and bring them to justice. And when the process is on or is done with, then you can exercise that. Otherwise, we have no business and should have no business. I've said that if we go back, I don't know how this came about, but it's happening is because, in my view and in my station in life, people who have done this or who came up with it are people who were themselves hobnobbing, romancing, or very close to these militias, criminals, in one way or the other, who had some form of sympathy, for them. And what happened? They decided, now that I'm in power, what I can do is come up with this and get a leeway for them. And because they're starting to not know that they are forgiven, they are recruited into the police and the army. It's unbelievable. It's totally insane as far as I'm concerned. Who are you recruiting? Even the decent because they've not been known to have been identified in crime, are out there unemployed, wanting to join the army and the police, you're not recruiting them. When the process is on, a list is passed. This is Nigeria. And that list will not include them. Others are paying a lot of money, rightly or wrongly, to some sources to get themselves recruited. They don't get recruited. Somebody who has been there, who has caused so much pain and injury, so much trauma to Nigerians, enjoys amnesty and is recruited, gold on the platter, into the army or the police. Whose work do you think that person is going to do in the army or the police? What mission do you think some people are sent to do? Sometime when I remember 20th of October 2019, Lekki Tollgate, 2020, when I remember it, and we see the unknown soldiers who did that, I asked myself, was it maybe one of those groups that were forgiven, who enjoyed amnesty and were recruited, that were used for the job? I just think that once in a while.
It's a pity.
Democracy. Oh, he's here. Mr. Biola is here. He has been stuck in Lagos traffic this morning. He was stuck in Lagos traffic this morning. And so, same Tonwa Derele, she's not here as well. I just got a message from her. She's also stuck in the traffic. If you're going out to have an appointment by 10 and you're still on the bed, Masun, start going. I'm telling you. All right, to the dailies this morning. Step to the dailies again. The Guardian newspaper. Court orders CBN to release MTN funds repatriation details. Stop Akpabio Abbas from increasing budget. Serap tells court. Lagos bans single-use plastic. Styrofoam warns against indiscriminate storage of combustible items. Leadership orders for opposition parties. Mega structure. About 50 billion naira properties lost in a battle explosion as government ends rescue operation. Averting catastrophe of brain drain in the health sector. Theft drops by 82% as $1.2 billion. OML 17 production heat 40,000 barrel per day. BPD. Falana urges state to abolish pension payment to ex-governors. If that is not tiffin, I don't know what it is. Niger Delta youth to shut flow stations, concrete all output. Former governor, ex-governors receiving pension payment. Well, we have dying soldiers, veteran soldiers that are dying, that are sick on sick bed, they've not gotten their pensions. We have teachers, they've not gotten their pensions. I'm telling you, democracy.
You're talking about someone else's
democracy
pension.
or democracy.
The main people that need to get this pension
I'm telling
are
you,
still there. I think we're joking.
What do we have in the Nation newspaper?
Okay, moving on to the Nation this morning. Kidnapped sisters are ordealed in 19 captivities, in 19 days captivity. NSA Rubado leads Ibadan Blast Probe.
The Nation newspaper.
The Nation newspaper, and we have Jimo mobilizes Ondo for APC. You see all the visits at the meeting with APC local government leaders with the renewed hope message. Moving on to the next paper. Punch newspaper. Dangote refineries plan supply to 150,000 IPEN station. PAN station. Foreign medical schools bills got $1.58 billion in 6 months, says CBN. That's huge. Tinubu panel asks states to suspend low revenue taxes. Let's talk about this 1 minute. He has asked states to suspend low revenue taxes. The last story today, we have the bans enabling rapid growth of adoption industry expert. That's all we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning.
And straight to the Nigerian Tribune. OD, please take notes. Nigerian Tribune this morning. On Ibadan Blast, 230 buildings undergoing integrity test. 19% of victims discharged. Makinde comments on Wolu Omala Seme support. FCTA demolishes 200 structures to accommodate presidential fleet expansion. Lekki Port berths largest container vessel on Nigerian waters. Has Energy celebrate anniversary with gold safety record. And we also have the story that made it to most Nigerian newspaper this morning. Jebo mobilizes Ondo for APC. Politics, election is starting. You want to go into politics, you want them to vote for you, you're still sleeping, you will know these people got the game. I'm telling you, they know about that game very well. Go and learn from them.
I think we'll talk about that tomorrow.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. But Barrister, we have to leave. But before we leave, I want to ask you this question, please. Do you think democracy is working?
No, democracy is not working. When you talked about the mobilization of Oyo for APC, I'm asking myself, well, yeah, see, I've said this before here in this forum, and I'm repeating it, that the government of our country, successively, has never been interested in your welfare and my welfare as citizens, all right? And so it is more like we're talking about the out there with criminals. It's war. It should be war against criminals. Now, as far as the people, the electorates are concerned, and the politicians,